Okay, boys and girls, what we're going to be making today is actually just a simple beef stew. Now, we're going to be doing it a little differently, actually. I'm going to be preserving it by pressure canning it. I just recently purchased a 22 quart pressure canner, and I'm going to be making a nice low-carb beef stew that I'm going to be canning. Now, for this, we're going to need about 12 cups of chopped up turnip, which was about 6 medium turnips. We need about 7 stalks of celery sliced up nice and thin. And I got about 17 medium carrots chunked up. We have 4 large onions, Worcestershire sauce, salt and pepper, and I've got 5 pounds of beef browning. Now this is just common stew meat. Yeah, cheap cuts, whatever. Now I've got the onions in there already. I'm just browning this and sauteing the onions because I want it all nice. This is actually really, really simple. Once I get everything on the go, you're going to be shocked. Now, from here, this is all browned and the onions are sauteed. We just go ahead and add the vegetables. Now I have to do it in 2 batches because I don't have a stock pot big enough, unfortunately. Okay, that's that. Now I'm going to add the turnip. Oop. Okay, now once you get that in there, it is a simple matter of adding water. Mind the mess, I've been cooking all day. Now for this you will need a pressure canner. This cannot be done with a regular water bath because this is a low pressure food. The only good benefit, well, labor-wise, is that you don't have to sterilize the jars previously. Okay, now we're going to fast forward till this stuff boils and we're getting ready to can. Now, while we're waiting for the vegetables and stuff to get to a boil, we're going to be preparing the water for the pressure canner. Now, after you've used it for a while, you'll notice there's actually like going to be a ring where the water level goes. But the simplest way to do it is to put a jar in with a little bit of water in here, and you want it to go about halfway up, right? Now, unlike with a water bath canner, a pressure canner uses steam to actually do its job, so you don't need that much water. You just want to make sure you have enough water that there's enough steam to last the whole hour and a half. That's how long you have to pressure can it. Okay? So, another thing is, you should add a nice little glug of vinegar in there, because that keeps the cans from, that keeps your jars, your mason jars, from discoloring. Okay, we're going to fast forward to the next part. Okay, now we're at the next step. We have our tops and rings soaking in some nice hot water just to get the glue gun. We've got our funnel, nice and clean, and we've got the boiled stew mixture. Okay, now from here, it's just simple. We fill the jars. Oh, the jars are all nice and clean too. You don't have to sterilize them like you would with the water bath method, but you do want to make sure they're nice and clean. Now you want to make sure that you don't put too much fluid in. You want a lot of, like this is a stew. You want a nice hearty stew. You're not making a soup. Okay. I forgot my butter knife. Whoops. Okay. If you have a little bit extra, that's perfectly alright. Oh. Okay, now, just want to make sure you fill right up to the lip, that first little lip right here, with fluid. Okay, you want to leave a lot of air room there. And then we go to the next one. Okay, it's really simple. Okay, now I'll show you. Oop, I keep forgetting. Fluid. Now when I browned the beef, I made sure to deglaze it a few times. You know, basically put a little bit of water in, let it boil down, put a little bit of water in. I wanted a lot of that nice brown fond. It's the sauce base. Okay. Now these two are ready to be canned. Oh, it's hot. Usually I would use a little magnetic cover lifter thingy, but unfortunately I broke it. Yeah. Put that on there. Oh. You gotta make sure there's nothing on the rim. Just make sure. Yeah, there's nothing on there. And we just finger tight these on there. Not too tight. Just enough to keep the ring in place. See? It's beautiful. That is actually really hot and I burnt myself. Ow. Okay, so I'll just do the rest of these up, and next thing I know, I'll show you what they look like going in the canner. Let's fast forward. Okay, now we have all the cans in the canner, or the jars, I should say. I'll put that actually over here. I've got the, extra plate there. Ow. Now, we want to put this on here and lock it in place. Make sure it's positioned good. Okay. We're going to wait until that gets up to head again. It lost some temperature on the way. We'll fast forward till it starts steaming. Okay, we've actually reached the next step. The water is back up to a rolling boil inside the pot, and it's steaming like a geyser. We want to leave this go for at least 10 minutes because you want to actually remove all the air from the pot. We just want it to be nothing but steam in there. Now, you're going to notice that there's a lot of steam coming out of the sides and all that for a little while. That's just because the seal hasn't engaged yet. That's not a big deal. It will. Okay, so we're going to leave that for 10 minutes, and we'll be back. Okay, now as you can see, it's sealed up nice and tight. There's no air coming in, there's no steam coming out of the sides or all that. Now, we are going to be processing this for an hour and a half at 10 pounds. So you want to follow the instructions that come with your canner. Mine just has a little weight thingy. Some have gauges, some have little pop pins. Just follow the instructions. Whew. Now, eventually that's going to start to dance around and whatnot. When it does, we're going to lower the heat. I'll fast forward to that. And that is what it looks like once you've reached pressure. Now, what you want to do is you want to turn the heat down until it dances, 4 times a minute or so. Remember that when you lower the temperature, it takes a while for it to translate into the pot. It's a large pot. There we go. And that's just going to dance every once in a while. Just, not a big deal. So from this point, we leave it go for an hour and a half. Okay? Let's fast forward to that. Okay. And here we have it. It's been sitting for about an hour. And it's still pretty hot, but the steam is gone. Okay. Now this is the part where you have to be very careful because this is very hot. Okay, so we take our cover off. And use our jar lifter. See? They're actually still boiling. And we put them somewhere secure where they don't be knocked over. And where they're nice even. Okay, so be careful, get them all out. And that is how you make a nice low-carb beef stew and pressure can it. And as usual, bon appetit.